sound. Do you hear it?
Is it bad?
So, Ranjan, your internet seems to get down.
Yes, yes.
Now it's okay.
It's not that, it's okay. It's okay because I cut off the sound of Benita Bhagavati, but when we will turn it on, the background sound will be there, so you must be aware of it. Just I'm letting you know.
Okay.
I can cut off any sound, but I cannot bring it back, so they have to know how to turn it on when needed.
Okay. So I am now going to start Anadi Nidhanam Brahma Sabdatattam Yadaksharam Vivartate Artha Bhavena Prakriya Jagatu Yatah. Good evening, respected scholars, professors, participants, and my dear students. Heartiest welcome to the international webinar on Sanskrit Lexicography, jointly organized by the Department of Sanskrit, Women's College, TINSUKIA, ASSAM, and K.K.H.GOVT Government Sanskrit College, Guwahati, Assam. Lexicography means the editing or making of dictionary or the principles and practices of dictionary making. To become a lexicographer, we must be able to look at language analytically and have the capacity to research the various common usages of a word. To fulfill this purpose, a lexicographer is bound to be well versed in grammar also. We can never deny about the huge contribution to the Sanskrit literature, grammar, etc. by foreign scholars of foreign origin. Today, we have the privilege to hear from two foreign scholars of foreign origin. They are Dr. Marcis Gesuns from Russia, who is a very young, energetic, and very talented lexicographer and a great grammarian. And Dr. Sriputri Purnamavati, Education Chancellor, Faculty of Sanskrit Literature, Sugriv Hindu University, Government of Indonesia. Dr. Shrutikan Pandey, HOD of Amity Institute of Sanskrit Studies and Research, Amity University, Noida, is here with us as the chief guest of the webinar. I also welcome Professor Omnath Bimli of Delhi University, Professor Dinonath Sharma of Gujarat University, Professor Naval Kumar Handik of Dibrugarh University, Professor Sudeshna Bhattacharya of Guwahati University, Dr. Sujit Dwivedi, and all other scholars to the international webinar. I would like to share with you, there are participants from India, Russia, and about 30 learned scholars from Indonesia. At the very beginning of this, about 30 are going to join. At the very beginning of this international webinar, I request Dr. Suniti Ballabh Goswami, Assistant Professor of K.K.H.GOVT Government Sanskrit College, to recite Mangala Saranam. Dr. Goswami.
Sarvebhyo Namo Namaha. Asha Shurashi Avadangavali Bhashai Badasi Kritadugdha Sindhum Mandasmrutir Nindita Sharadendu Vande Ravindam Shanasundari-tvam Vande Ravindam Shanasundari-tvam Khadgam Chakragadechu Chapa Parigha Chulam Bhushundim Shira शङ्खं सन्दधतिं करैस्त्रिनयनाम् सर्वाङ्गभूषावृताम् नीलास्म्याद्युतिमाश्य पाददशकाम् सेवे महाकालिकाम् यामाश्वपिते हरौ कमलजौ हन्तुं मधुं कैतवम् ॐ जज्जाद्ग्रतदुरमुदैति दैवं तदसुप्तश्च तथैवेति दूरङ्गमं योतिषां योतिरेकं तन्मे मनः शिवसङ्कल्पमस्तु ॐ त्र्यम्बकं जजामहे सुगन्धिं पुष्टिवर्धनम् उर्वारुकमिव बन्धनात् मृत्योर्मोक्षीयमामृता ॐ शन्नो मित्र शं वरुणः शन्नो भवत्यर्यमा शन्नो इन्द्रो बृहस्पति शन्नो विष्णु रुरुक्रम ॐ नमो ब्रह्मणे नमस्ते वायो त्वमेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्मा वदिष्यामि त्वामेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्मा वदिष्यामि ऋतं वदिष्यामि सत्यं वदिष्यामि तन्माम् अवतु तद्वक्तारमवतु अवतु माम् अवतु वक्तारम् ॐ शान्तिः 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 नमस्कार
Thank you, Dr. Suniti Vallabh Goswami. Now, I would like to invite respected Dr. Binita Bhagavati Madam, Principal of K.K.H.GOVT Government Sanskrit College, to deliver welcome address.
Good evening to all. Today, the premier institution, K.K.H.GOVT Government Sanskrit College, has got the chance to organize the international webinar on Sanskrit Lexicography with joint hand of Department of Sanskrit Women's College, TINSUKIA. The respected guests present here are Dr. Marcel Gaspins, Lecturer, Society of Sanskrit Geology, Russia; Dr. Purti Purnamavati, Brahmavidya Faculty, Hindu University, Government of Indonesia; and Dr. Shrutikar Pandey from Amity University, and so many respected guests. At the very outset, we would like to offer our congratulations and gratitude to our platform of K.K.H.GOVT Government Sanskrit College. Education is dynamic and hence new innovation and researches are going on. Again, the impact of globalization in all spheres of life, increasing the tendency to improve the skills and capabilities of new generation to come. Hence, today's topic is very important, and I think it will be fruitful for the listener. Sanskrit is a language, carries high spiritual values and ideology, and occupies a unique place in the world literature. ASSAM is also proud of its Sanskrit, rich Sanskrit heritage, and in 1970, some of the Nobel scholars and philosophers decided to establish a Sanskrit college, specific Sanskrit college in entire Northeast. So with their endeavor, a full-fledged government institution for improvement of Sanskrit learning in the state was set up in 1970 as a Sanskrit college, and in 1995 it was renamed as Krishnakanta Hindi Government Sanskrit College. At present, the premier institution of entire Northeast has only been providing formal education of TDC course, CBCS system under Guwahati University. And it is our immense pleasure that the college has passed 51 years. K.K.H.GOVT Government Sanskrit College has been anticipated for creating a congenial atmosphere for Sanskritization in the region. So today's webinar is very plausible attempt, and I offer my thanks to the organizer, both K.K.H.GOVT Government Sanskrit College staff and the Department of Sanskrit Women's College, TINSUKIA. With this brief word, I like to conclude my speech and again offer my gratitude to the participant and to the resource person and the chief speaker of today's webinar. Thank you.
Thank you, madam. Now I request respected Dr. Rajiv Bordole sir, Principal of Women's College Tinsukia, to deliver the inaugural speech. Sir.
Thank you. Dhanyavad. Can you hear me loud and clear? Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Respected Principal, Dr. Binita Bhagavati, and distinguished faculty members of Krishnakanta Handikoi Government Sanskrit College, respected HOD of Sanskrit Department of Women's College Tinsukia and faculty of the Sanskrit Department, revered keynote speaker for today's program, Dr. Marcis Gasons from Russia, revered chief guest, Dr. Shrutikant Pandey from AISSR, MIT University, respected guests of honor, Dr. Sukutri Purnamawati from Sugriva Hindu University, Indonesia, and Dr. Devendranath Oja from MIT University again, respected professors and respected participants from different institutions all over the world, and my dear student participants, a very warm welcome at the very inception to all of you in attendance here for this wonderful program. First of all, let me congratulate the two organizing departments for organizing such a wonderful program. Ladies and gentlemen, I am the principal of one of the host institutions, that is Women's College Tinsukia. And by that virtue only, I am getting this lifetime opportunity to sit here before you and speak a few lines of inaugural speech on this August platform. I'm saying it is an August platform. Why? Because it is the platform where a topic as magnanimous as the lexicography of Sanskrit is to be delivered upon today. Lexicography is a subject vast as the sky and as deep as the ocean itself. And it is exclusively meant for serious and dedicated research scholars, experts, and those who have dedicated their life and time in that field. And similarly, Sanskrit is divine. It is like divine nectar, highly exclusive. Only those who with immense love and respect for the subject, with immense knowledge, immense dedication, sincere work on the subject, can have access towards this divine nectar. Unfortunately, though I am the principal of an institution where this subject is taught, I am unable to associate myself, fit myself into any one of the two domains that I have mentioned here. My regret is unbounded, and my apologies to all great scholars and participants in attendance here today. Having said that, having gone through this painful realization of my limitations on this beautiful subject, I must also admit that I do understand my responsibilities, maybe as a layperson or maybe as an administrator, towards the well-being, towards the enrichment, towards the rejuvenation, or towards popularization, or towards propagation of this subject, particularly in our part of the world. Here in India, unfortunately, though I called it a divine nectar, there is hardly any taker these days for that divine nectar. So we need to join hands, both government agencies and NGOs and experts in this field, even lay persons like me in this field. As far as this subject is concerned, I consider myself as a lay person. We all need to join hands together and chalk out a comprehensive plan so that this divine subject, this divine language gets revitalized and it comes back to our society, and we can get access, all of us can get access to this divine nectar. So with these few lines only, with a view to giving more space to our designated revered speakers for today, I beg your permission to wind up my inaugural speech by congratulating all the participants again. Thank you very much. It is over to you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, Dr. Rajiv sir, Principal, Women's College, TINSUKIA. Now, I would like to give a brief introduction about the respected keynote speaker of the international webinar on Sanskrit lexicography, Dr. Marcis Geshuns. Dr. Marcis Geshuns is a Sanskrit lecturer at the Society of Sanskrit Zealots, established in 2005. He is working in Sanskrit typography since 2005, making Devanagari font replicas. Adding Sanskrit lexicography in 2007, he curates crowdsourcing and artificial intelligence at the Cologne Digital Sanskrit Dictionaries, Cologne University. The honorable PhD degree was awarded to him for the thesis, The Scope and Structure of Old Indian Roots, the History of Research, by the world-reputed Institute of Linguistics, Russian Academy of Science, Moscow in 2014, which is an updated Dhatupatha concordance. He has reprinted 13 Sanskrit grammars, dictionaries, readers in Russian in his Bibliotheca Sanskritica since 2011, and a bilingual critical edition of Hortatory in the Opera Minora sub-series. He is editing 4 volumes of Upanishads, Amurusataka, and Vishnu Sahasranam, lately nurturing a dream of a finalized Russian translation of Mahabharata and Ramayana. So now I request Dr. Marcis Geshuns kindly deliver his speech on Sanskrit lexicography. Sir, Dr. Marcis Geshuns, sir.
Yes, can you see me? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can see you and you're audible also, sir. Thank you very much.
Great. I'm trying to share my screen just in a moment. Can you see what I can see? History of Cologne digital lexicons.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I'm honored to be here. I've never visited Assam, but I hope this accident can be fixed one day soon enough. But I'm happy to see that there are people interested in the making of Sanskrit dictionaries as far as from me as in Assam. So as mentioned, I have printed some books on Sanskrit. So I have some idea of what should the books look like, but not only books. For the last 14 years, I've been developing Sanskrit dictionaries, developing and mostly cleaning. So my father told me when I was 5 years old that you have to get an education. So without education, you will have to work as a trash man. So at the time, I loved computer games, and there was one game, and it was about collecting trash. And so he told me, if I will not learn, I will have to gather the trash all my life. And now, 30 years after that, I can tell him that he was wrong. Although I'm a doctor now, but I still collect trash. I still do what he thought I will not do. So the point is that the books, the printed books, may contain a small amount of mistakes and errors. But for the last 30 years, we mostly use digital lexicons, which means that there are different errors never present in the original printed books, but there are tens of thousands of mistakes in the digital copies we actually use. So since 2007, I am trying to make the 37 Sanskrit dictionaries available at the Cologne University's website cleaner. And it will take about a century more or two if, as said before, we do not unite. So I have come here not to show how great or big we are, but I have come here to show that I need help. And if there are people interested in the making of dictionaries, let's unite our power and strength, because otherwise I'll get lost and doomed. So my father thought that education will make me happy. He was wrong. Education made me understood how many issues there actually are. And it was not always so. The history of Cologne University's website dictionaries was not one stage, it's several stages. It is the biggest place, the biggest collection of Indian language dictionaries. There are only 2 collections available in the world. One is Chicago University collection, and the one is Cologne University collection in Germany. So there are only 2 collections of Sanskrit dictionaries in the world. All the other places are much, much smaller. So in comparison, the Amarkosha, it contains 10,000 words. What do you believe? What is the sum amount of words we are dealing with in all the dictionaries united? So Amarkosha has 10,000 words. What do you believe is the amount of words? So I'm waiting for an answer. Your number. What would you suppose? How many words there are in Sanskrit? How many words there are in Sanskrit dictionaries? So Amarkosha has 10,000 words. Mahabharata has 20,000 words. What is the amount of words when we speak about lexicography? Is there proposal? I want to hear your proposals. Like 10,000, 20,000, 100,000, lakh, 2 lakhs, 100 lakhs. How many words are there in Sanskrit? you might want to turn on your mic and give me an answer. Otherwise, I will not move on. You might be wrong, but you want to have your number. I want to see the chat. I cannot see it. Ranjan, do you see what's in the chat? I don't see the number because I share the screen, so I cannot see. Is there an answer? A proposal?
Yes.
Actually, you cannot make a fixed number, because Sanskrit has the quality to create numbers of words with the use of the dhatus.
I have spent 8 years of my life collecting all the possible dhatu pathas ever printed in India and outside India. So I do suppose I know something about dhatus. Yes, we can compile, but still there are only 10,500 sopasarga dhatus. So there are some limitations. And there are 305 avyayas and 20 upasargas.
10 to the power 53. 10 to the power 53.
10 to what?
10 to the power 53. 10 uske upar power 53.
Okay, so you propose that's the number of words in Sanskrit or the number of words in Sanskrit dictionaries?
Number in Sanskrit.
Okay, and what should be the number in Sanskrit dictionaries? The total amount of words in all the dictionaries united.
Sorry, I don't know actually.
Yes, I mean, of course you do not know, but what would be your guess?
I request Dr. Marcy Sessions to complete his lecture first. Then there is a question session. If time permits us, the party will get time. Please proceed, sir. Please proceed.
So there are,
but
not tell
there will be
learned scholars. Think about the number. So I want you to understand that how big is the project. So in 1988, it all started. And now we are much closer to having cleaner dictionaries, but still there is a huge lack of humans involved from India. So the work on Sanskrit dictionary is mostly done outside India. The work on Sanskrit dictionaries nowadays for the last 30 years is mostly done outside India. So in 1988, the father of the first Sanskrit electronic library said that many Sanskritists are highly computer literate. It was 1988. That was what he supposed. Many Sanskritists are highly computer literate. But I disagree with that. Totally, not only in 1988, but in 2021, it's not very bright. It's not very bright. We still have, we use methods that are outdated, and we spend more time on issues that can be solved much easier. So at that time, they believed, the fathers of the electronic Sanskrit internet, they believed that the tasks are, they wanted to unjoin Sandhi. They didn't know how to treat the literatures of Devanagari. There was no archive on Sanskrit texts, no references, no hyperlinks. So it all started in 1988 in USA. This Sandhi issue has been solved many times, not less than 5 for the last time in 2015. So the biggest digital Sanskrit lexicography scholar in the whole world, his name is Jim Funderburg. He is a math teacher from Pennsylvania. He is the most advanced computer lexicography scholar in the whole world today. He has spent last 20 years on an everyday basis trying to make the dictionaries easier to use. After Unicode, there are no problems of presenting Devanagari or whatsoever letters, Brahmi-related letters. But the problem is that in India, Unicode is not used widely. So when I went to Pune in 2019, I went to Bori, I went to Deccan College, and I was surprised to find out that no Unicode is used still, even after 20 years after its invention, it's not used in India. So the problem is that all the texts that are digitized in Pune, they are not available to us outside Pune. So it's like a Kupa Manduka effect. So means lots of effort is put into something that nobody will ever be able to use outside Pune. Do you understand what I mean? So there are different approaches, two different approaches. One is when you want to share, and one is when you want to do something and never share. So what I would really want to see is that Pune opens the doors. That Pune opens the doors, and the biggest Sanskrit dictionary project in the whole history of mankind can be put for our favor. Now everything keeps closed. So what I see a lot in Indian universities is that they do some small projects for a year or two, and the results never get published, or they get published but the database is never open. This is a sample of how things can actually be open and different people are involved. So there is nobody paid for working with the Sanskrit dictionaries, but people still find it interesting to help us make them cleaner and better. So most of the issues, computer-related issues, are gone. After 20 years of development, most of them are gone. So there is a Sanskrit text archive, like Gretel. There is a corpus of Sanskrit texts. It's big. It's not huge, but it's big. So there is an archive. There is a corpora. And there is even a parallel Sanskrit-Russian corpora, which I've made. So it contains Rigveda, Atharvaveda, most of Mahabharata, and half Ramayana as of today. So all of those texts are available with translations, for example, Rigveda with the German, English, and Russian translation, all on one page. And I will show you after how it actually looks. What's interesting is that we can actually link from the dictionaries, from the dictionary text, if there is a reference to Panini or Rigveda, we can actually link to those texts. And that's been done for the first time a few years ago. So it's never been done before. Now it is as a sample. We can link to we have links to Atharvaveda, Rigveda, and Panini already incorporated at the Cologne University website. So in 1997, there were a few dreams. What should come after? So the idea was to implement supplements from the dictionaries. So every dictionary has a page or 2 or 10 at the end, and not all of them are actually incorporated in the electronic dictionaries. That's one issue. There were issues with the Old Greek, but the Old Greek issues are solved by now. There is a huge issue of flora and fauna of India. The dictionaries contain around 1,500 names of plants. Not all of them are identified. And we have only started working on that a year ago. We would want to find biology expert from India who could actually tell where it's gone wrong, because all we know about the medicine is taken from dictionaries that have been printed 150 or 120 years ago. Means there was never a major update in the world of dictionaries. So all we have is based on mid-19th century dictionaries. And there are still issues. I would say tens of thousands of issues. Yes, there are some. Okay, so verbal forms. Most of the dhatu entries contain unstructured data, which means there is a different length of forms, but we don't actually, the computer doesn't actually know which is which. And we can add markup to make it graphically standing out. So there is a difference between different forms. So there is not just a mess. As of now, it's just a mess. It should not be. And literary sources. So we have found out, for example, that in the list of 10 most quoted sources in the dictionaries, it's amazing to see how many Raghuvamsha, Mahabharata, Ramayana, of course, how many texts are there involved. So the biggest German project that was finished 5 years ago in Germany counted that there are a total amount of 2,600 of literary sources used in all the dictionaries combined together. 2,600 sources. So that's a rather big list, because even the biggest dictionaries like Apte, Monet-Williams, Petersburger dictionaries, they have around 500 to 700 sources. So 2,500 is quite many sources. So that means that the ideals of 1997 are not yet over. We are still only starting to work in that direction. So it's not fully integrated. The supplements means the supplements may contain words not included or fixing some errors. So there might be some errors that migrate from one dictionary to other. One of such mistakes is the blue lotus. There is no blue lotus in the nature, and still every Sanskrit dictionary contains a blue lotus. So there is no blue lotus in the wild, but the dictionaries contain them. And as dictionaries borrow things from one dictionary borrows from, it's like, let's say, Vachaspatiam was the source for Petersburger, then Monia used the Petersburger dictionaries as the source, then, okay, so the list is long, the details are intriguing, but the problem is that some of the words should never have been existed at all. And until the supplements are implemented, we cannot be sure, is there that word or it's a ghost word that should be killed. Transliteration is mostly done. So all of those dictionaries, most of those dictionaries at Cologne are printed in Europe. That means they contain a lot of words. I wouldn't say a lot. So around 1,000 words of Latin, Greek, English, French origin, and cleanup is going on. The Greek text is okay by now. Botanical terms, as I said, it's a mess. We have only started it, the cleanup. So there are about 6,000 entries that link to about 1,500 plants and animals. And we are still not sure if the links are right or they should be. You see, after 150 years, the botanical terminology has changed as well. So we want to make sure that we name them as they are named now and not as they were by mid 19th century. And for example, the etymological part of Monnier-Williams dictionary is from 1930. It's 180 years old. 180 years old is the etymological part of Monnier-Williams dictionary. So you understand. So the dictionaries contain quite many outdated things, and still we use them because there is no choice. So we would want to find one person who is interested in lexicography and has an idea of botanical names. Verbal forms. Verbal forms have to be checked. Means we can generate from a dhatu forms that have never existed. And that's what we do now with the computer. We generate words that are agrammatical, wrong. And the problem is, as I told you, the Kupa Manduka approach. Everyone does something and we never unite. And that means so much of brightest minds are spending the time on all the same issues, never solving them finally. And we have at least 6 different tools that generate forms based on dhatus. And most of them contain mistakes that are not present in some dhatu koshas. So nobody has ever compared the printed books with the generated forms that exist in the wild. So the problem is the computer is smart, but it's uncontrolled. And there is no person, no one single person who can do it. And that's what why I say is that we should unite artificial intelligence with crowdsourcing. With people who have a feeling for Sanskrit. Otherwise, do you know how much years it will take to finish the Pune dictionary project? Do you know where they are stuck? In the middle of what letter? The Pune dictionary project that started almost 50 years ago. Do you know where they are now? Has anybody seen ever the Pune dictionary, the Pune Heritage Sanskrit Dictionary? So they are stuck in the middle of letter A. In the middle of the first letter. And it will require about 3,000 years to finalize it. 3,000 years. You know why? Because we do not work together. Because everyone tries to do it on its own. And for that reason, it will require 3,000 years to compile, to finish one dictionary. Have you ever heard of a dictionary that's been compiled for 3,000 years? The longest I know is 100 years. 100 years. In Chicago, the cuneiform dictionary, Sumerian cuneiform dictionary, 100 years it took. In Pune, it will take 3,000 years. You know why? Because we don't work together. Everyone wants to do something on its own. Every university wants to do something on its own. They never unite, never. And I want to put an end to it. I want to unite because I believe that the Pune Dictionary Project deserves better attention, more people involved. There are 10 people working out of 50 that should work on it. 10 people working out of 50. There are no Sanskrit students. Nobody's any more interested in Vyakarana and lexicography. It's impossible. I don't believe. India and no Sanskrit scholars. Can it be? So the literary sources. I will show you how it works. It's a beauty. we have some byproducts. One of the byproducts by working with the dictionary is the full list of all the words in all the Sanskrit dictionaries. And the list contains 385,000 words. 385,000 words is the number of all the words in all the Sanskrit dictionaries in the world united. Printed in India and abroad for the last 1,000 years. 385,000 words is the list. And I would love to see people. There is only one person from India working on a regular basis on this list. Her name is Sampada, and she is working on a regular basis. There's only one person who thinks that Sanskrit lexicography is of interest for India. One person. One. Can you believe it? One person. One person working on Sanskrit lexicography on the whole of India. I want to change it. I have come here not to blame you. I have come here to show how we can actually work together, because I believe we should. So that list is beautiful and it's there, but I suppose nobody in India is aware of it. So if we have, for example, a document and we are editing a Sanskrit document, we can use that list for actually auto-correction of mistakes, for proofreading of Sanskrit texts, because we know what words can actually occur, and it can help us. It can help us. Hyphenate the words if we print a book. Do spell checking on the internet, all based on this byproduct. I will show you the interface if we will have the time. The code, we need coders. We have lots of issues, 2,000 issues, code-based issues, but that will be a different talk. So one of the things I would want to show you is simple search. Simple search means you input dirt and you get a word, or you input word and you get even more words. So it tries to understand if a letter is missing and calculates all the possible variants in the dictionary. So guess I will show you the simple search, how it works. So if I enter the dhatu khan, then there are 14 results. So in case of khan, you know what you are looking for, but there are some strange words when sometimes people enter, like for example, amsha can be entered in 10 different ways, and the computer recognizes now, or most of them. So what I believe is that the Sanskrit electronical texts should be cleaned. Around 10%, each Sanskrit text on the internet contains about 10% of mistakes. Means there are literally tens and hundreds of mistakes in each Sanskrit document on the internet. So you cannot trust them. You cannot print them. You cannot give them to the students because they are dirty. There is no standard. It's just like everybody's putting out something, and we should put an end to it. We have grown in quantity. Let's grow in quality. And these computer-based systems can actually show us, oh, there is a list of 100 suspicious words from Sundarakanda. Take a look at it. There might be an error. We don't have to read all the sargas, all the parvas. No, we do not. 100,000 years will not be enough. But the computer can assist showing us what are the suspicious words. And then that's the place where we need crowdsourcing. People come and look and say, okay, this looks suspicious to me. This is how Oxford English Dictionary was made. This is how in Australia newspapers were digitized 20 years ago. This is the only possible way. Crowdsourcing means thousands, tens of thousands of people, students around India could look at one mistake every day. And in 200 years from now, we could have tools to use other than, I don't know how widely you use electronic text in your research. In the West, it's rather wide, but the quality of the text is rather low because nobody has ever checked them for mistakes. So what I want to say is that using simple, for example, Levenstein algorithms, we can find out most dirt, not only in the dictionaries, in the textbooks, in the editions. For example, I've printed lately Bhartrihari. So I use these methods in this critical edition of Bhartrihari. I use these computer methods and I found 8 mistakes when I was sure there will be no more mistakes, just by counting the Guru Lakhus in the Padas. So we have created tens of different tools to help the Sanskrit scholars, but if they are not aware of their existence, they'll never help them. So now I will show you how it actually works. I have at least 3 minutes left. I have at least 3 minutes left. How it works. How it works. Okay. Do you see my screen? The Cologne Digital Sanskrit Dictionary site? No? Do you see my browser?
Yes.
Okay, great. Do you see the URL, the address, all of you, where it's located? So Sanskrit Lexicon, Unicoln, D stands for Germany, Deutschland. So this is what I want you to look at. The simple search approach. The simple search approach. So the input, we can choose Apte. For that, we can go Apte Practical Sanskrit English Dictionary. Output, let it be Devanagari, simple. Simple means I can type with mistakes and still I will find the result. Okay, for example, let me try, will it find Ranjan? Okay, yes, it does find, but it has only one result. Let me try something harder. Okay, so you see that there are several results. So if I enter dharma, there is no such entry in any dictionary. There is no such entry in any dictionary. So it supposes it might mean dharma or dharman. And it's up to me to choose what actually fits me. All of them are calculated based on the amount of occurrences in the digital corpora. Means daruna is a more frequent word than druma, and druma seems to be more frequent than dharman. That is what I believe as of now. So, or we enter a word, I don't know, what should, okay, only one result, what should it be? So as you see, it proposes that I might be wrong, and I actually might be wrong. For example, Shruti, okay. Shruti, do you believe I will find anything entering in such a way, Shruti? So if I change input to Harvard Kyoto and I press enter, I will never find any results. So this is how internet was working for 25 years. So you would not get real results of Sanskrit dictionaries for the term Shruti in Harvard Kyoto input. If I make it look like the academical transliteration, it's not working as well. Is it etrans? No, etrans is not working. So simple is the solution, and it finds actually the words that are most probable that where I was looking for. So this is one thing I would want you to learn, the simple search approach at Cologne dictionaries. It's what we have developed and what I believe is the most advanced Sanskrit search as of now. And let me show you that the interlinking thing I was speaking about. So if I look for Indra, you see the Rig Veda reference? It's clickable now. It was not such a year ago. It's clickable now. So it opens in a new tab, and you can see the Samhita. The Pada Patha has not been added. So if we had a coder, we could actually add the Pada Patha as well. So the Russian translation of Yelizarinkova is there, the German translation, and one of the early English translations. So all the mandalas. So you can actually search for the text. So you can use the search that's inbuilt in every browser. So I can search for the Russian words. You see, I can use the search that's in the browser to look inside the page I already opened, to look inside the page. So this is what I mean when I say interlinked. So let me find another place. Okay, these are the links to Rig Veda. This is Amarakosha. We could link to Amarakosha, but we have not, because we have not enough people who are interested in Sanskrit dictionaries. Let me try one more search. What should I search for? Okay, some link to. Okay, some link to Panini I want to show you. Okay, this is the Sanskrit German dictionary of Bötling, the biggest Sanskrit dictionary in the world. So it has a link to Atharva Veda, as you see, and the links are clickable. So you see, I can get to Atharva Veda, not only Rig Veda, from inside the dictionaries. I want to find the link to Panini, but I don't see one. This is Ramayana. Okay. Ramayana and Mahabharata. The problem is that the dictionaries are based on old editions, not the new, on the Vulgata editions, not the critical editions. So we need to make a correspondence to the old ones before we can actually link out. Let me find a place where Panini is linked. Okay. What should I look for? Okay, so this is a link to Panini. Okay, finally I have found it, and we click on it, and here we go. We land on a site that it's the most advanced site as of now, as of regards of Panini. The Ashtadhyayi.com, it's launched lately, like 2 years ago, and now Vyoma develops it. And yeah, so you see that the dictionaries were initially based on the texts, and now we link back to the texts again, and it's all at our disposal. So all those literary sources, the Harivamsha, the Panchatantra, the Mandukya Upanishad, Chandogya Upanishad, all of them can become links. But that would require at least 50 more people or 100 more people to be involved that are interested in dictionaries. So I have shown you the German dictionary. The English dictionary, the Moni Willems one, has this function as well. So you see it's linkable. Yes, I guess I have shown, and one more thing I want to show you. So at GitHub is the place where we actually develop the dictionaries. So it's the back end. So Sampada, the doctor I told you about, the only Indian who is working on Sanskrit dictionaries, so this is what she does. She finds mistakes in Sanskrit words, in English words, in French words, in German words, and proposes correction. So it was wrong. So you see, there are hundreds of mistakes in all the dictionaries. So we are doing it for 20 years now, and we have not yet even started it. It's a huge amount of work, and I would be glad to see a second person from India who would be interested in Sanskrit dictionaries. I hope that until the day I die, I will see the second person from India involved developing Sanskrit dictionaries. Dhanyavad.
It's over?
Yes,
sir.
It's all over. It's game over.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. It's very nice. We are very much benefited, Dr. Marcy's guests, sir. Hope we'll get this type of, get the chance of from hearing from you in future also. And I am very happy to share with all participants that in this webinar, overall, total 277 participants are here in this link and YouTube. So I request all participants to be with us till the end of this webinar. So now I request Dr. Debendranath Oja, Assistant Professor, Amity University, to give introduction of guest of honor, Dr. Sriputri Purnamavati, Brahmavidya Faculty, Sugrivo Hindu University, Government of Indonesia, Bali, Indonesia. Please, Oja sir.
Yeah. Namaskar. First, I introduce Dr. Sriputri Purnamavati. After senior high school from SMA, first then passer, Dr. Sriputri Purnamavati studies in prestigious Hindu University in Indonesia since 1990 to 1994. She completed MA in philosophy from University of Delhi, India. She was awarded the degree of Doctor of Philosophy by the Udayan University, then passer, and Bali, Indonesia. She started her career as a lecturer of Itihasa and Purana in Sugriva University in the year 1997. Then she joins as Hindu religion lecturer and become the HOD of the Department of Research and Social Relations, Institute of Hindu Dharma, Indonesia since 2014 to 2017. She also rendered her service as the Dean of PhD program in the Department of Religious Studies, Institute of Hindu Dharma and Indonesia since 2012 to 2017. At present, she is working as Educational Chancellor, Faculty of Brahma Vidya, Sugriva Hindu University, Government of Indonesia. She is also experienced in the field of Ayurveda and honor of the Hindu Mahayogi Ashram, Denpasar, and Bali, Indonesia. Now, I would request Dr. Sri Putri Purnamawati to please us with his speech. Dr. Sri Putri Purnamawati.
Thank you to the host for the introduction and the time given to me. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, speaker, and audience, and all my friend here. Namaskar. Om Swastiastu. Om Awigenam Astu Namasidem. Om Sidirastu Tat Astu Swaha. I'm very proud to be here and very grateful for the opportunity to participate in the international webinar on Sanskrit lexicography. And I say thank you very much to committee who have contacted me, especially Mr. Dr. Ranjan Chakravarti. He's my friend in Delhi University. Because of that, I can participate on the international webinar on Sanskrit lexicography. Ladies and gentlemen, Sanskrit is very beautiful language. It can touch the universe. With the mesmerism, high quality can enter all dimensions. Sanskrit gives enlightenment to mankind. Sanskrit does not belong to the nation, one nation, but belong to the world. Sanskrit is like source of water that flow throughout the world, has a color pattern according to each region. In Indonesia, we have Javanese language, Sumatra language, Balinese language, almost 70,000 languages, all of which have one mother is from Sanskrit. Although Indonesian now, Hinduism and Buddhism are no longer the major religion in Indonesia, Sanskrit, the language vehicle for this religion, is still held in high esteem, and its status is comparable with the Latin in English and other Western European language. Sanskrit is also the main source for neologism in Indonesia. There are many use forms from Sanskrit root, for example, in Indonesian contemporary medal of honor awards, such as we call Bintang Mahaputra, Kalpataru Adiputra, and also Pancasila. It's very important, the 5 foundation for the Republic of Indonesia, the word is, and the philosophy coming from the Sanskrit. Bhinneka Tunggal Ika is a guide for our life in the nation. After that, one word for our Indonesian Navy, Jalasveva Jayamahe. That's also coming from Sanskrit, and Rastra Sewa Kotama, that is in police, Indonesian police motto. And after that, Sua Buana Paksa, the motto of Indonesian Air Force, and there's so many. The loan words from Sanskrit cover many aspects of religion and everyday life in Indonesia. The Sanskrit influence come from contact with India a long time ago, before 1st century. The word either directly borrowed from India or through the intermediary of the Indonesian language, and the number of Sanskrit loan words as far greater. The Indonesian language English dictionary by Professor Jude Mulder in 1982 contained no fewer than 25,000 entries, almost half a Sanskrit loanword. Sanskrit loanword, unlike those from other languages, have entered the basic vocabulary of Indonesia. So that's many language. We are very easy to understand how to learn Sanskrit because already in our language. So they are no longer perceived to be the foreign language. I'm a faculty member of Sugriwa Hindu University, that's a university under government of Indonesia, religion ministry. International webinar on Sanskrit lexicography is very useful because we are at Sugriva Hindu University have 70 subject course at the Brahma Vidya faculty where the origin source is from Sanskrit. The course whose original source are Sanskrit, for example, Rigveda, Yajurveda, Atharva Veda, Samaveda, and Mahabharata, Ramayana, Jyotisa, Ayurveda, Upanishad, Saddarsana, and so on. Sugriva University, especially at the Brahma Vidya faculty, provide a lot of lecture material on Sanskrit. And as a condition for graduation from Brahma Vidya faculty, students are professional in Sanskrit. In this occasion also, in this seminar, Sanskrit lecture are joined now from Theology Hindu Department, Sugriva Hindu University, who directly teach about Vedic Upanishad and other Hindu literature. Ladies and gentlemen, Vedic book, Purana, Itihasa, Upaveda, Vedanga, which are written during the Singhasari and Majapahit kingdom in the 6th century after decrease, which have translated from original Sanskrit to text Pallava and ancient Javanese language. Ancient and scripture used as religion guideline, and until now, many have been translated like a Vedic mantra into a local and Indonesian language. So that we often do not know the journey of the language change. Only people who are involved in lexicography are able to explain about it. Lexicography work in Indonesia, we are doing since 5 after decrease. Since all sastra Sanskrit translated in Kawi, Pallava, or Javanese language. So we have Dasanama is the name of dictionary. Dictionary is that time, and we use this dictionary in Bali when we learn a Sanskrit or to translate in Balinese language. We have example. This is for like Sara Samushaya. This is like a special guitar who since 7th century. That's until now, this Sara Samusaya, we are using it. And the language, still, they have Sanskrit, Pallava, Jawa, Bali, Indonesia. And now we are translating in English language also, this Sara Samusaya. Ladies and gentlemen, international webinar on Sanskrit lexicography are very important for us in Indonesia, especially because we follow the development of understanding Sanskrit to be better day by day. Because the impression of Sanskrit as if were a dead language, even it was limited, was used by allergy or clergy Brahmin family who cared about the old traditional. Therefore, as an important element that form the nation culture, it considered necessary to re-energize the spirit to learning the Sanskrit language. International webinar on Sanskrit lexicography, hopefully it will be produce something useful, especially for us in Indonesia. So greeting from all big family from the Hindu University, Sugriva Hindu University in Denpasar, Bali. I sincerely appreciate your attention today. So good work. I pray for this and one for my daily pray in Bali. So I will close with one prayer. So I will recite. Om Aditya Param Jyotir Rakta Tejo Namastute Shweta Pankaja Madhyaste Bhaskarya Namastute Om Santi, Santi, Santi Om. Thank you for your attention. See you again. Thank you.
Namaskar. Pram. Thank you very much, Dr. Sriputri Purnamavati, for this informative lecture. There are so many informations in these lectures, in this speech. We are very grateful to you. And I proudly would like to share one information that Professor Mukunda Madhav Sharma from Assam, he was visiting professor in Udayana University. So we have a relation with Indonesia since time past, long past. Thank you very much. So now I request Dr. Shrutikan Pandey, head of the Department of Amity Institute of Sanskrit Studies and Research, Amity University, Noida, kindly to deliver the speech of the chief guest briefly. Because we have scarcity of time, please, sir, please say some words and bless the event.
Om Vishwani Deva Savitar Duritani Parasuva Yat Bhadram Tanna Asuva Sarvibhyo Namo Namaha. Good evening all. Good evening, because I'm in India and it is near about 6:23 of the evening. I am overwhelmed with the chance of attending this international event on lexicography. It is really a unique effort for several reasons. First of all, because when, especially during this COVID period, have attended scores of international and hundreds of national webinars, but most of them are on the similar topics. And out of those, near about 200 webinars, national and international, I have gone across. This is the first one on the lexicography. So naturally, it is a unique effort. Secondly, the organizers have found a very intelligent, very into the lexicography, very wise and very bold, and very, I can say that expert in expression of his views, Dr. Marcis Gessen. When I heard him, I thought that a listener should be very much courageous to have a speaker like Dr. Marcis. The way he expressed his topic, his content, especially towards the end, we are all impressed. And I was looking at the expressions from the listeners, from the participants on the chat box. So most of them, they commented upon the lecture, the presentation from Marcis Gessen ji, and they were all appreciating. And I am confident that if they would not have understood everything what Dr. Marcis has presented, but certainly they would have got some insight about the field of lexicography, its uniqueness, its importance, its width, and the world of lexicography. He has discussed India, he has discussed Germany, he has discussed France, he has discussed so many parts of the world, including the USA, and whatever is being done at the present, and what is the condition, what are the needs, So everything he has presented. Now he has also given a call, especially to us Indians, that how far we can remain contented upon our past. We can be proud that lexicography started in India even before Christ. So that is, we can be proud of that, but that is not our job. We have not done anything in that. It is our time, and we must make India proud, because Sanskrit is not Indian language. You may be surprised to listen to this sentence of mine. It is the language of Bharat, and the Bharat means Bha is light and Rat means indulged. So all those around the world, those who are enlightened or in the search of light or enlightenment, are Indians. We should not exactly say Indians, Bharatiya. So the fruit of India, Sanskrit is not limited to India, is because India, Sanskrit is the language of the world. All people who are in quest of enlightenment does not only mean that spiritual, but also the knowledge wise also. So the whole world should be beneficiary of the Sanskrit, and the whole world must unite to uphold this language. So the call given by Dr. Marcis is sincerely taken up by us, and I believe that someone amongst us will come forward and do something, so that Dr. Marcis, he has given a challenge of his lifetime, but I think that light must be on, and as early as possible his call should be heard and acted upon. Now secondly, we were listening to Miss Marcis Gesson. India has been very connected, close with especially Bali, also Indonesia, and we were overwhelmed when some time back we heard that the university in Indonesia has been named after Sugriv Hindu University. So we had a special attachment with Indonesia and with Bali, and I am happy that Miss Sri Putri Purnavati has given us a brief outlook about Sanskrit in Indonesia, the book she has shown, and the scope and the efforts being made in that part of world about Sanskrit. Naturally, lexicography is a devoid area even there, but she has given a very encouraging outlook about Sanskrit in that part. So with this, I thank once again all the members of the organizing team that they have chosen such a unique topic and unique guests, especially Professor Marcis Gesson, and he has opened the door for all of us to get into this field and do as the most what we can do. At the end, I would request all the participants or listeners also that until we don't know anything, we are innocent. But the moment we know something, then it becomes our responsibility to think over it act upon it, and do the best to our capacity what we can do. So I from my side assure that we would look into the call and this field and do something. And similarly, I request all the participants also that act upon, think upon, and go into the subject which has been discussed in so much detail at this occasion. So thank you once again. Thanks for giving me this chance to say my a few words. Thank you once again. Namaste.
Thank you, sir, for your inspiration and nice speech. And thank you very much. We are grateful to you. Thank you, participants, for your valuable comments. And I request all participants to fill up the feedback forms which are already uploaded in the Zoom platform and also in YouTube. So, and I am very grateful to all participants, and I am grateful to my teacher, Professor Omnath Bimli sir, and Professor Sudeshna Bhattacharya madam for her comments, inspiration, and thank you all. Now, there is a session, actually, it's called question hour, but for scarcity of time, it will not be possible for us to answer all the questions by the audience to Dr. Marcis Gesuns. So I would like to take this opportunity to hear from one very learned participant from Indonesia, Dr. I. Gade Sutaria, Assistant Professor of Sugriva Hindu University. Please, sir, please say your comments or please bless this event.
Namaste. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I appreciate your opportunity to give me opportunity to ask some questions. Traditionally, in Indonesia, in Bali, we understand Sanskrit not from the translation, but from the explanation. For example, in Sara Samustaya, and also in the other scripture, also ancient literature, also in Indonesia, there are sloka over there, sloka in Sanskrit, of course, and after that, we don't have translation. What is the meaning of the sloka? We just have explanation. What is the meaning of the sloka in explanation in all Japanese language? So I understand Balinese people and Indonesia people, especially in Java and Bali, understand Sanskrit with explanation. My question is, what about in Assam tradition, and also in the other side of India tradition, to understand English, to understand Sanskrit, and also in Sadhana Yoga, we know about the Nirukta. If I wrong, please correct. Nirukta, that is a traditional dictionary, ancient dictionary from the Panini era, I think. So I need also explanation here from the scholar from India, especially, and also from Russia, how to make a dictionary in Nirukta tradition. Thank you very much. I deliver the time to moderator.
Thank you, Dr. K.K.H.GOVT Sutaria. I was also in Delhi University, but long time back, I have seen you. Thank you very much for your nice comments. Now,
Yes, thank you.
I request Dr. Subhra Sabapandit, HOD, Department of Sanskrit, Women's College, TINSUKIA, to give vote of thanks.
Good evening, everyone. On behalf of the organizing committee of the International Webinar on Sanskrit Lexicography, I would firstly like to convey my heartiest regards and thanks to Dr. Rajiv Bordoloi sir, Principal, Women's College, Tinsukia, and Dr. Binita Bhagavati Madam, Principal, K.K.H.GOVT Sanskrit College, Guwahati, for their support and guidance. Thank you, sir and madam, for your valuable speech. I have no words to thank Dr. Marcis Gesons and Dr. Sri Putri Purnavavati for giving their valuable time and resourceful speech and making this international webinar successful in real sense. I also offer my gratitude to Dr. Shruti Kant Pandey and Dr. Debendranath Oja of Amity University for enlightening us. We are very grateful to the esteemed members of the advisory committee of the webinar. My sincere thanks goes to Dr. Ranjan Chakraborty, Dr. Suniti Vallabh Goswami, Dr. Jumli Nath, and Sri Asim Prakash Sharma for their cooperation in the smooth running of the webinar. I would like to thank Mr. Anatoly from Russia for his support. Last but not the least, I offer my deepest respect and thankfulness to all the participants from India and abroad. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Dr. Subhra Sabapandit, for this vote of thanks. I also thank you all everybody. But now, at the last, now I request Dr. Jumli Nath, Assistant Professor, Department of Sanskrit, Women's College, Tinsukia, to recite the Santi Patha, following which the session will be ended because time already over. So now I request Dr. Jumli Nath, please, ma'am.
Sarvabhyo namo namaha. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah. Sarve shantu niramaya. Sarve bhadrani pashyantu. Ma kvatsit dukkha bhag bhavet. Om shanti shanti shanti.
Thanks, everybody. Now, the international webinar on
Feedback link, please. Yes, sir. No feedback link.
feedback link is already given.
That one only?
Yes, yes, already given.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Yes.
Link to Kwana Dekun. Feedback link to Kwana.
Link is there, sir. Link is there.
Already there.
Acha. Ami Kwana to.
Now, yes, it's given here.
Once submitted, so no need to write again. Na?
No need, no need.
Okay, thank you, sir. Very, very informative webinar. Thank you so much.
Many thanks to the organizers.
Okay.
Dr. Ranjan Chakraborty, many thanks to you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you. I request Anatoly Artemenko from Russia to please over this session. Please close this session, please.
Are you sure?
Sure, sir. Sure.
Thank you, sir, for your.
So
thank you, sir, for your speech.
we have not only Russia, we have Ukraine as well involved. So you must understand that the post-USSR means there are people involved in the movement of learning Russian and teaching Sanskrit. It's not only Russia, it's the Baltic states, it's Kazakhstan, it's Belarus, it's Ukraine. So Anatoly, he is the head of the parallel corpora. He is from Ukraine.
So, sir, are you satisfied with this webinar? Actually, the concept was yours and topic was yours. I'm grateful to you. Now, please close the session and I will talk to you.
Anatoly, тебе надо молвить слово.
Oh, he is not here.
He's here. He's just turning on his sound.
Oh.
We are highly blessed, sir. We are highly blessed, highly benefited and blessed. Hope such the organizer will organize again. Dr. Chakraborty kindly organize.
Sir, please bless. You need your blessing, sir.
One moment. Тогда говори на санскрите.
Yes.
Тогда говори на санскрите. А то, что из уши выучил.
Please. Anna.
Ты скажешь, они не найдутся. Давай.
Please. It's over. Namaste. Namaste. It's over now. Again, I will need your help.
Yes, we are ready to help. So I told that he should give us a subhashita or something he has recited. So it's the only thing. Otherwise, nobody will go home today. I said, if he'll not give us a subhashita or recite a stotra.
Yes, that's right. Yes.
У тебя нету выхода. Открывай листок.
Кришнай намо намаха.
Намо.
Давай.
Pura Gauram.
Our Indian mantra is Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. Sarve bhavantu sukhina, sarve santu niramaya, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kaschid dukkha bhag bhavet.
Thank you, madam. Thank you. Thank you very much, madam.
Welcome, sir. Our Indian culture is that this one only. Sabhi sukhi ho, sabhi nirog.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much. Shall we leave?
If you yes, you can leave now. You can leave now. If you have filled up the feedback form, that's fine.
Earlier I filled that one.
Okay, it's okay, ma'am. Thank you for joining.
Thank you so much. Gurubhyo Namaha.
Namo Namaha. Anatoly, is there any problem?
There is not a problem. If you want it to end, I can just press the button and every